What finely engineered piece of equipment is made of surgical-grade stainless steel? Generates more than 60 times the G-force of a space shuttle launch ring around the collar. Time to pay some respect to the workhorse of the laundromat, the DEXTER commercial washer. This modern marvel has over 650 parts. And after it cleans your clothes, it takes them through a dizzying 700 an incredible centrifugal G-force is a measure. Each G equals the force of gravity on Earth at sea level. Astronauts endure 3 Gs at liftoff. 5 Gs and you pass out. Jeans and towels in just 4 minutes. This machine is designed not only to withstand that kind of force, but to run 16 to 20 hours a day for 20 years straight. That's about 36,000 The inner drum spins the clothes. The outer drum holds the water. Life in a wet and soapy environment, both rust-resistant surgical grade, which arrives in pallets at the factory. Many holes can fit on them without actually destroying them. The holes, all 4,736 of them, have to be big enough to let the water flow, but small enough not to swallow buttons or catch on the clothing. The operator has to move each piece through the press manually. Fail to line up the sheet correctly, blink of an eye. Workers curl each sheet into a roll and weld the edge together. Finally, the drum. Everything has to be even and tightly welded, or else the drum. The finished drums have to be strong enough to hold up under those intense G-forces. How strong? They make them out of the same stuff they use to build bridges and skyscrapers. Structural steel. Anything less couldn't handle it. When you're making washing machines designed to survive 200 Gs dozens of times a day in these closed quarters, you don't want to leave anything to chance. So the folks at the DEXTER Washing Machine Company would rather make them themselves than rely on anyone else. This is its job, the machine's whirling drums, and it has to be cast perfectly, or the washing machine might become dangerous. Iron housing, scrap iron, steel, and a kind of furnace fuel called coke. The coke helps raise the temperature to the melting molten metal hot until it's ready to be poured into silica sand molds. It takes between 30 and 90 minutes. Now, to greater than the sum of its parts. The inner drum goes on top, and 4 long rods are bolted in. Then the worker trues up the assembly. This gauge makes sure that the center line of the drum lines up with the center line of the shaft. If it's off by even a fraction of an inch, the machine will have a very short and very violent career. Of course, the washer needs a motor and some plumbing. And now the most burning question of all. Why is a washer made out of glass? Believe it or not, it's because customers love to watch their clothes swish around in the suds. With all the circuitry installed, workers install the part dear to the heart of the money slot. These washers can be a traditional coin slot or a modern debit card system. An inspector runs each finished machine through a full 23-minute cycle to check for leaks. Once a washer passes muster, workers slap on some stainless steel outer pad, and after just a day on the production line, is ready for a lifetime of dirty work. And even that's not enough to counteract the power generated by this washer. When it's finished, bolted to a concrete floor, or the entire 1,100-pound machine could buck and skid its way across the laundromat floor. The added drum spinning with such force is called the spider. The shaft is a bar of steel to size and then sculpted into a tapered shape. Shaft and bearing house needs to be exact. There's only wiggle room of 1/10,000th of an inch. The shaft gets welded to its legs, and the whole structure will be attached.